Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Timeless Vic, back with another video. This is an easy one, straight for the beginners. I'm starting off with a number 2 metal detachable. It's going to be a skin fade, and I'm going to be performing this haircut exclusively using the detachable blades and my Oster Model 10 clipper. As usual, we're going to start off by taking the hair down, going against the grain, and cleaning off with the brush or with your neck duster, getting rid of any excess hair. Just a rule of thumb for you guys, the detachable blades are going to run from a 5-0 to a 3-0 to a 0A, then a 1, then a 1A, then a 1.5 to a 2, and then from a 2 it's going to jump to a 3.5, and from a 3.5 to a 3 3/4 detachable. So those are going to be your numbers for all your blades. Now we're using a 3-0, also known as a 3/0 detachable blade, going all the way around the head, starting the first guideline. Oh, a little behind the back pass right there for you. And just for the sake of not having to take my camera out of focus and, you know, change positions, I'm just going around the head real quick and then coming back and showing you what I'm doing. So if you're wondering, I'm doing the exact same thing on the other side, so you don't have to worry. This blade right here is a 0A detachable, and notice it's blending pretty easily. I will probably have to come back and do some cleanup work. Well, not probably, for sure I do. But yeah, so I have to come back and, you know, just some minor, but that's always expected anytime you're doing a fade. Now we got the 1A on there, continuing to fade upwards, going all the way around the head, then coming back. Now from the parietal ridge up to the top, I'm going to be using a 1.5 detachable, and I'm going to be doing this all the way around the entire head. So I'm still using a 1.5 detachable, just cleaning up around the head, making sure that I'm doing a thorough job. And the next blade that I'm going to be slapping on my clipper is going to be a number 1. And basically that's going to help me blend in from my 0A. And your 0A is almost equivalent to a wall senior open. And your number 1 detachable is pretty much equivalent to a master's open. It might not be an exact measurement, but when you're blending, they're pretty much going to match up. So now I'm just using the corner technique with my detachable 1 in this portion, and just barely knocking away any little line that might be there. It should pretty much just blend without too much effort. It should just blend up no problem. So I'm gonna go around the whole head and do this step. So now I've slapped back on my 3-0 3/0 blade, and I'm just basically touching up that bottom first little guideline that I had created, where I had started off with the 3-0 and then went into the 0A. So just lightly cleaning that up with the corner technique as well. And I know a lot of you might be saying, wow, there's a lot of steps. Can I get away with doing a fade without doing so many steps? And the answer is yes, you definitely can. And I probably will make some videos later on how to do fades with probably just 1 or 2 steps, where you just do one guideline and then go right into clipper over comb. But to be honest with you, you can do stuff like that, but the depth of your fade, the blend of it is definitely not going to look as nice when you fade like that. So that's why I choose to add a few more steps I mean, I see guys using, you know, 10 steps to get something done that should only take 3 steps. So in some regards, I'm not that bad as far as, you know, taking too many steps, but it's to each their own. You know, different people like to do it different ways. So my job is just to be here and show you guys all the different ways you can do this possible. Really, I'm just trying to familiarize you guys with detachables. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use my 5.0, my 5/0 detachable blade, which is the lowest. As I said earlier, this is the shortest, closest blade out of the whole list that I gave you. Make sure that you pull that ear down with anytime you're using any clipper, but especially these, because you will catch the back of that ear and it'll be all bad. Notice I go up and do a little corner action every now and then too, using the corner of the blade just to knock out any microscopic dark spots that I see in my blend. You'll see I'll kind of like go back and forth and do that a lot of times when I'm doing a fade. But yeah, so I'm just knocking the hair down, going all the way around the head, taking extra precautions. Oh, and one more thing to note, guys, if you want, you can zero gap all of your detachable blades. I mean, I wouldn't really advise zero gapping your 3.5 or your 2 or your 3 3/4, but you could definitely do all your really close numbers like your 5.0, your 3.0, and your 0A. You definitely, if you do any of those 3, you're gonna want to do all 3, because if you do one and not the other, you're gonna have problems knocking out that line when you go to blend out. So if you zero gap the 3.0, you're definitely going to want to zero gap your 5.0 and your 0A as well. So just keep that in mind. So at this point, the fade is pretty much flawless, or should I say timeless? Yeah, definitely timeless. But if it's timeless, that means it's flawless. And we'll go ahead and finish it up with these Wall 5-star screen shavers. I mean, from the camera angle, you probably can't even see if it's taking it down, you know, at all. But all of us barbers, we know that it adds an extra day to the haircut, maybe 2 days, depending on the client's hair texture and all that. But you know, it just adds to the service. Get that smooth skin fade. By the way, everybody, this is my boy Kyle. Shout out to him for letting me use him on this tutorial. I really appreciate that. At the end of the day, guys, it's all about just sharing the knowledge, sharing the way, showing the way, being the way, and just having fun with it. I've been doing this for years now, and it never gets old. I will talk about in later videos coming up, you know, what does get old. But cutting hair definitely doesn't get old, but other stuff that you could possibly deal with in the barbershop environment can definitely get old, and you got to try to stay away from certain situations so that it doesn't affect the way you see your craft, because it can definitely cause you to maybe resent your trade. But hopefully none of you guys ever have to deal with anything like that, but we'll talk about some stuff like that in the future, kind of like some barbershop talk stuff. So as you can see, I'm lining them up using my Andis T-outliner, cordless. Just trying to keep it as natural as possible, as usual. Just lightly tapping it, lightly tapping the hairline. Now we're going to go ahead and finish off doing the hooks, finishing off the lineup portion of the left side. And we're going to repeat the exact same thing on the right side. Start from the middle and work your way out. Make sure you get that box crispy without pushing it back. Just tap the hairline lightly using the corner of your blade. Also, people, make sure that you're using a light touch anytime you're lining your clients up. Make sure that you're not pressing too hard. You don't want to leave them with a red line on their forehead or on their neck or anywhere else for that matter. Just make sure that you're just, using a light touch. Your clippers should be sharp enough to where you don't have to press down too hard. And definitely if your blades are adjusted, and definitely if they're modified or sharpened in any way, you definitely don't want to be pressing down too hard. So if you're a beginner, I wouldn't even suggest modifying your blades, to be honest. And now we're doing the hooks on the right side, finishing off the lineup. Also, real quick, I got to give a shout out to my man 3D Music. He's always coming through with the nice beats, so shout out to him. Now our last step will be the razor edge up. Make sure that you're stretching the skin so that you can ensure that you will not cut your client in any way, shape, or form. As long as you stretch that skin and use short strokes with your razor, you're pretty much guaranteed not to cut your client. Just make sure you're holding it at a 45-degree angle, stretching that skin, and you'll be good to go. Now you could start off with the forehead and then work towards the box and then the hooks, or you could start with the box area, which would be the temple area, and go to the hooks and then go to the top, just like I just did. It's really up to you. It's your own personal preference. I personally don't like to lean my client back anymore when I'm doing the straight edge razor. I just feel like it kind of just wastes time, and because of my height, this is just a better position for me. I used to lean people back, but then all the years of me just leaning over and hunching over, it started to take its toll. So I pretty much just keep my client upright position in the barber chair when I'm doing this. The only time I'll really lean them back is if I'm doing probably like a shave or a beard trim. But even in most cases, even with the beard lineup, I'm still keeping my client in an upright position. What do you know? He had to bring out the masters, didn't he? Didn't he? But yeah, like I said earlier on in the video, I always pretty much come back and do some type of cleanup, even if it doesn't need it, even if the haircut's already flawless. I'm just a freak like that, if you will. What do they call that? Obsessive compulsive disorder? OCD? Yeah, I got that for sure. But it's all good because that's helped me get to where I'm at. Honestly, guys, I stretched this haircut out as long as I could, but it is a wrap. The haircut is finished. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe. Get at your boy on Instagram, on here, everywhere. Much love. Thank you for watching the video. Until the next one, it's your boy, Timeless Vic with Timeless Barbers, and we out. Peace.